Usually on a flight, when you start feeling some small bumps, this is what you'll hear next.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
But sometimes bad turbulence can hit without any warning. That was Michelle Gregoire's experience during a harrowing flight from Vancouver to Kelowna in the summer of 2021. As the plane got closer to the airport, all of a sudden smoke from area forest fires blew in their direction. The sky went red and then black, and then
the turbulence just started. In a split second, we dropped about 500 meters. People started screaming, and a woman reached across the aisle to a young woman who was traveling by herself and held her hand. And, there was a little boy, and he was screaming, and he kept saying, "I'm scared." And all this accumulating together is a very, very frightening experience.
The pilots managed to turn around and go back to Vancouver, where they would land safely. And more stories like Gregoire's are emerging in recent years. That includes actor Matthew McConaughey, who was recently on a Lufthansa flight from Austin, Texas to Frankfurt, Germany. He shared the story on the podcast Let's Talk Off Camera with host Kelly Ripa. McConaughey says they were cruising along, not a cloud in the sky, when
it dropped 4,000 feet. I mean, it's zero gravity. Your red wine and the glass and the plates are all suspended, floating still. And then everything just comes crashing down. It was a hell of a scare.
McConaughey and his wife weren't hurt, but 7 people were injured on the flight. Paul Williams is a professor of atmospheric science at the University of Reading in the UK. He says what McConaughey experienced is clear air turbulence. It's invisible and not part of a storm. It's generated by wind shear, which is the wind speed increasing with altitude. Williams says there's more of it now due to climate change and different regions of the planet warming at different rates.
The north to south temperature difference is getting stronger, and it's that temperature difference that drives the jet stream. And a stronger temperature difference means a more strongly sheared jet stream. So that's the link from temperatures to stronger turbulence.
Williams' latest findings indicate how things look over the next few decades.
We are projecting something like 59% more light turbulence, 94% more moderate turbulence, and 149% increase in severe turbulence. So a lot more turbulence around in future.
It's not the kind of news Michelle Gregoire wants to hear, as her experience with extreme turbulence has affected how she feels on flights now.
The tiniest little bump now, I get rigid, I clench the seat a bit, and then I just sort of sit there and wait for it to pass. Knowing that turbulence is just going to get worse and worse definitely makes me nervous.
There's good news, however, for people like Gregoire. Flights may actually become less bumpy in time. That's because Williams says the technology to detect clear air turbulence is improving dramatically. In particular, he says a tool called LiDAR, which is similar to radar but uses a different frequency of light, holds immense potential. It could help pilots plan to avoid the worst clear air turbulence spots before taking off. Williams says it's a large, heavy box and very expensive right now, but
as it becomes miniaturized in future and the costs come down, it could really consign clear air turbulence encounters to the history bins. It has that potential.
It's hopeful news for Michelle Gregoire, who has to fly regularly for work.
Knowing that something that they can detect and then avoid, that definitely lessens any type of anxiety that I would have flying.
Until the day comes when turbulence is avoided, Paul Williams says your smartest move is simple. Keep your seatbelt on, even when the seatbelt light is off. For CBC Radio, I'm Jason Osler.